fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pull. When you tune in to the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. You got Craig and TK and FFT tuned in at the fish report.
Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio. It's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Tune in to the fish report.
Welcome, folks, to another Fish Report Live. Thanks for joining us. I'm Craig Fissinger. Sitting next to me is my co-host, Ken Francis. And back in our sound room, Heavy D has the week off. TK's back there with a little help from Ross. We'll check in with those guys a little bit later in the show. And Ken, another fun night in FRL. Lots going on tonight in high school sports. It's tournament time, so we're going to be talking about that. And we're going to be visiting with a MAC coach for the first time this spring season.
Yes, we are, Craig. It's hard to believe it's tournament time, and, softball has started, baseball has started, the conference track and field championships have started this week. So, spring's here, and we're going to talk some MAC softball tonight, Craig. Really looking forward to going up to New Bremen tonight and talk to longtime head softball coach Craig Griesdorn. He's got his Lady Cardinals right now at 15-3, Craig. They're ranked number 10 in the state of Ohio. Very solid softball program over there with New Bremen. Really looking forward to talking to the coach there and see what makes their team go.
Yeah, can't wait to get to that. And speaking of MAC softball, that is the topic of tonight's poll question.
Yes, it is, Craig. We're going to ask our viewers out there, which MAC softball team do you feel will make it the furthest in postseason tournament play? We've got the top 4 MAC schools listed here. Is it Coldwater, Minster, New Bremen, or Parkway? 4 great softball programs, Craig. Asking our viewers, which one do you guys think will advance furthest in the postseason?
Yeah, and if you're watching us on the Fish Report Live page on your computers, you can scroll down, help us answer tonight's poll question, and check the results. If you're watching us on NK Telco, we will have those results for you at the end of the show. All right, Ken, well, let's get things started. We'll get right to it. Tonight was a big night in track and field as well. The SCAL Track and Field Championships got going day one over there, so they ran some prelims and a lot of events and also some finals and some other events. So let's take a quick look at the results and see what happened tonight. First of all, we'll get started with the 4x800 relays. Both boys and girls ran that. In the boys 4x8, Fort Laramie actually set a new meet record, shattered the old record. The old record was 8:10, and they ran an 8 flat .79. So congratulations to the boys over there, Alan Holt-Heide, Jake Raithman, Tom Ballas, and Joe Ballas for that new meet record. And then the Arusha girls, seem like we say it every year, but once again, they win the 4x8 championship over there. Congratulations to Anna Fissinger, Maddie Mormon, Claire Meyer, and Shay Gubo. Look forward to seeing what both those teams can do over at the district meet next week. And then in the discus, Josh Miller over there at Botkins, the senior, he's been doing it all year. Ken sets a new meet record with 159.2. So a big night for him. And then a big night for Botkins in general because Grace Homan, the sophomore over there, won the shot going 38 9 3/4. And the boys long jump, kind of a surprise. I was told Jarrett Meyer, somebody said, came out of nowhere to win that one over there, 20 feet 9 inches. Congratulations to him. And then the girls high jump, Paige Harvey over there, a junior, went 4:10 to win the girls high jump. And then the pole vault, a big night for Russia senior Cole Tebby, beat a former state champ and beat another over there at Anno and Logan Const, and also beat Alan Holt-Heide, who's been pole vaulting as good as anyone this year. But Cole Tabby goes 13 feet to win an SCAL championship his senior year. So congratulations to him. Ken, just looking at it here, I think that boys race will be probably a contest between Anna and Fort Laramie in the end. The girls' side, I look for Anna and Russia to go at it. Russia's won it the last 6 years in a row. I think Anna's going to give them all they can handle this year on the girls' side. So going to be a lot of fun on Friday.
Absolutely. And the girls have got a lot of sprinters, Craig, and when you got some good sprinters, you get the 100, the 200, you mix in the hurdles, the long jump, a couple of the sprint relays, you can accumulate some big points real quick. So, Rushia's going to have to run really well, Craig. I think it's going to be a big battle there between them two teams. And, Craig, when I look at Fort Loramie and Anna, again, has a lot of the really good sprinters. Fort Loramie, of course, has got the distance runners and some big points there by Jared Meyer tonight. You kind of look at the whole meet in general before it even takes place, and you say, okay, we're going to get points here, they're going to get points there. If you're the head coach of the Fort Loramie Redskins, you got to love that 10 points you got tonight in the long jump. That was really big for them.
Yeah, it might come down to those last couple events, and it probably will between Ann and Laramie on the boys' side. But Ken, since we're talking some MAC tonight, day one of the MAC championships happened on Tuesday night. Let's look at the early winners there.
Well, Craig, typically some very good performances over in the MAC Track and Field Championships. And from day one in the 4x8 relay there, we had Versailles boys and Minster girls winning it. On the discus, Craig, we got the Notre Dame commit there, Dirksen from Marion Local. He heaved that disc 151. The girls discus, young lady there from Delphi St. John's with a nice throw. Boys shot put, A.J. Arns there from Versailles, 49 feet. Girls shot put. Luthman,
Savannah
Luthman, there you go. She's going to throw over at Eastern Michigan, I think it is. So she with a MAC victory there, and so on down the line. So MAC championship, of course, always very competitive. Look for the Minster girls to obviously dominate over there, and possibly the Versailles boys on that side of it.
Yeah, it was a fun night for day one and championships in track and field on both the MAC and the SCAL over there. We also ought to mention over there in the OHC, the girls over there from West Liberty Salem have an early lead over there, so look forward to seeing what they can do on Friday as well.
Oh, yeah, I look for the Lady Tigers, the Big Orange, probably to walk away with their umpteenth consecutive championship over there. Of course, they're led by longtime head coach and the dean of coaches over there, and Ann Vogel. So congratulations to see how they can do over there in the OAC.
Matter of fact, I got a text from her before the show started tonight. She says, you have any results from the SCAL meet on day one? Bomb's page hasn't updated yet. I said, you're going to have to watch Fish Report Live at 9 o'clock. We'll have all those results for you.
That's right. We're a lot quicker than Bomb's page.
All right, well, let's bring in TK from the sound room. And TK, you and Ken tonight called a baseball game. Let's talk a little baseball. You called that Russia-Covington game. Give me a little recap. I wasn't there. I was over in Fairlawn tonight.
Yeah, I did have the distinct pleasure of calling that game with Ken. We had a lot of fun, a great game, especially if you're a Russia Raider fan. The Raiders win 9-1 over the Covington Buccaneers. Jack Daypor, the junior right-hander, threw a gem of a game for the Raiders. 13 Ks. Quite a few of those were Ks looking, too. He had his fastball working quite well and went 6 1/3, no-hit innings till the last finally got a hit. Jack went out then, and Kevin Drees came in to finish up the game. Hunter Cohey, some great offense, as well as Dylan Credonier and Drew Sherman, all very good offensive games. 5 big runs for the Raiders in the second, kind of put the game away early, and then it just kind of cruised home from there. On the other side, Troy 1, Fort Loramie in the end easily wins over Riverside 11-1. Was close early, but the Redskins pulled that one out about midway through the game and cruised on home again, 11-1. They will take on Triad next Wednesday at Piqua-Hardman Field. Russia goes against Lehman, who beat Mechanicsburg. That, again, is also Wednesday of next week. That will be at Sydney. So a couple really good games next Wednesday in boys baseball.
Yeah, really looking forward to those games, TK. And like I said, I had the pleasure of calling the game with you. I was really impressed with Russia's overall game there. I thought Coach Flippo had a nice scouting report on Covington. I think he took advantage of some of their weaknesses. We stole a lot of bases, and defensively we were stellar. I thought we covered a lot of ground. I haven't got a chance to see our varsity play a whole lot this year because I'm typically at the JV game. But very impressed. I think we got a really, really solid baseball team there, and we hit the ball very well.
Yeah, they were patient. One thing they haven't been sometimes against a pitcher that throws a lot of off speed, which Nathan Bly from Covington, a lot of curveballs. They were patient. Second inning, he had to come up with some fastballs, and they were all over it. A really good offensive outing for the team tonight.
And then coming up for Russia next is the number 2 team in the state in the Lehman Cavaliers, a team that got beat by Coldwater here the other day, didn't they?
Tournament-wise, that's correct. They'll be playing Lehman in the sectional finals. Those two teams squared off last year. Russia had a big lead, of course, late into the game, and Lehman plated 6 runs in the last 2 innings to pull out the victory. So, it's going to be a great battle there. I think those are two teams, two very well-respected baseball programs, well-respected coaches. Coach King over there at Lehman, of course, and Coach Flippo at Russia. I think it's going to be a real battle. You're going to have a very good pitching matchup. Lehman, of course, they've got Parker Riley. No doubt he'll be taking the ball from Coach King. All he's done is go like 22-0 over the last 2 seasons. And, for Russia, the nice thing, Coach Flippo, he's got some options. So Russia's pitching staff this year has been stellar. That's what's led them to their 18-5 record. And I think if I had to guess, he'll most likely be giving the ball to junior Hunter Cohey. But like I said, he's got options. Daypor was brilliant on the mound tonight for the Raiders. Kearns has been solid all year. So look for a little X's and O's battle there between those two teams. But Coach Flippo's also got a big game tomorrow night. Shelby County League.
Just a little big
game. It's a lot bigger, Yeah, it's a big game. But Russia, of course, already technically has clinched a share of the Shelby County League. But Fort Loramie, the game's at Loramie. Coach Sturwald and his Redskins have to win to remain in the hunt for the Shelby County League championship. So a lot riding. Coach Flippo, of course, he's got Cohey throwing, I'm assuming, tomorrow night. Not sure who pitched for Fort Loramie tonight. But regardless of who Coach Sturwald throws out there, I'm sure it'll be a very competitive baseball game.
And then they have one more county game, guys, correct? After Fort Loramie, too.
Balkans on Friday night. So I guess technically they have to win 1 of 2 in the next couple of days to clinch the championship. So it would be nice to see the Raiders as a hometown fan take both of those and win it outright. But still, as you said, some big games the next couple of days before we even get to the next tournament game.
Right.
I love this time of year. I love it.
Yep.
Good stuff.
So.
And we don't want to forget about our softball girls. A lot of big games coming up on Thursday. As a matter of fact, I got a list of them here. Covington versus Fort Loramie, Newton Jackson Center, Riverside versus Fairlawn, Houston Tri-Village, Botkins Mechanicsburg, and the one we always are more interested in, our Russia Raiders taking on Bradford, which should be a very good game there.
Absolutely. Russia's played them twice already this year. Russia won both games, but both were very close games. So I believe Coach Molenkamp, she'll have her Raiders ready to play, but they're going to have to be for a first-round game, technically, for the number 2 seed in the overall tournament. They get paired with Bradford, a very tough challenge for the Raiders in the semifinal.
All right, sounds like some May madness to me, guys. So listen, great stuff. Let's take a short break, but we're only half done because when we come back, we're going to talk some more softball, including that interview with New Bremen coach Craig Griesdorn.
Stage at the Leaping Van. Music starts at 8 o'clock. You can find us here every Wednesday night. It's usually the same cats every week, but I can't tell you all their names. Teacher, cat, and a junkie, all waiting for time to play. Everybody here's got something that we're trying to leave behind. We're all a little broken, for a place to hide. Get no answers, don't ask any questions. We're we're all here just looking for a high. And we're all beautifully broken here tonight.
All right, welcome back to the second half of Fish Report Live. Before the break, we were talking some track and field, talking a lot of baseball, and mentioned a little softball. Ken, our next guest, is in his 34th year at New Bremen Local Schools as both a teacher and a coach. He's a 1979 graduate of Marion Local High School, and he's the head softball coach of the Lady Cardinals. We welcome to the program now Mr. Craig Griesdorn. Coach, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be on the show.
Well, listen, we just mentioned that you're in your 34th year, I believe, there over at New Bremen, and I know you've done some other coaching over there besides softball during that time. So before we get started, give us a little background on your coaching.
I graduated from Wright State University way back when in 1983, so it's been a long time ago. I started out as the varsity baseball coach. I did that for 4 years, as well as an assistant football coach. I've did that for 23 years. I've been the softball coach for 19 years, and I coached basketball for 30 years at the school.
Certainly done a lot over there, and your Lady Cardinals coach are having another fantastic season, actually coming off last year's MAC championship and an appearance in the regional tournament. Tell me, did what you did last year, did that drive this year's team at all in the season you're having?
This year's team is, it's always a motivating factor to get back to where you were last year. But this year's team's a little bit different than last year's team, even though we have quite a few seniors on this year's team. It was not knowing how our younger kids would do at the varsity level, never playing it. And we have 5 sophomores and 5 juniors that are on the team, but we start 5 sophomores right now, and they have done an excellent job. I mean, so that was a good thing, and we've had and our seniors have done a good job of leading the team. So it's a good mixture there of some youth and our experience that we had from some people coming back.
Coach, hi. This is Ken Francis. I appreciate you being on our show with us tonight. One of the stars on your team this year, as well as previous years, is senior Sophia Fox. Besides everything, Coach, tell us what she does well for the team.
Well, Sophia does an excellent job. She's been our pitcher for 4 years, and this year, right now, she has a record of 11-4. And obviously, she's been a mainstay there. But she's most probably even a better hitter. She leads the team in hitting right now at about .560, 4 home runs, RBIs 22. So she's an all-around athlete, has done an excellent job for us, and obviously she can't do a lot of those things without some players around her. So but she's obviously one of our mainstays, along with some of our other seniors that have played for 3 years. So. We knew we had a good one coming back, and she was probably been one of the best we've had in the 19 years that I've coached softball.
Coach, you mentioned you got 5 sophomores at start. You mentioned you got some juniors as well. And when it comes to your seniors, though, you cannot beat good senior leadership. I know with Sophia, you got great athleticism there, great leadership. But what other seniors on your team are carrying that role this year for you?
Or I think all 7 we have 8 seniors total, and besides Sophia, obviously Cassidy Smith, our third baseman, she's been a 3-year starter for us. She's our cleanup hitter. Jenna Brorman is our first baseman. She has played the last 3 years at first. Chloe Schwartz is a 3-year letter winner. She's played some in the outfield. She's also an excellent base runner on our team. Madison Ritter is one of our infielders, plays some short, can play some first, kind of a utility person, also one of our runners. Michaela Feltz is our second baseman, has done an excellent job for us. She played this position last year for us. Our designated player this year is Jordan Saylor. So she bats in the lineup, but she can also play in the outfield and catch, as our backup catcher. And then our last senior is Alyssa Tiemann, who's just an all-around great player on the team, supportive, and is one of our outfielders.
Coach, let's talk about your league, the MAC. Of course, the MAC is known statewide for being very competitive in just about every sport. And, of course, girls fast-pitch softball is no exception. You look at the MAC standings, and this year there's 5 teams with 15 or more wins, which is just unbelievable. Explain to us the competitiveness in the MAC, and you feel in all your years of coaching that from top to bottom, this is more of one of the more balanced competitive leagues you've seen.
Obviously this year's, I think every team in the league had at least, besides us, had at least 6, 7 starters coming back from last year's team. You can go down the lineup. They had their pitchers back. They're good defensively. They have hitters. You can go up and down. Like I said in our preview, he said anybody can beat anybody on a given night in this league, and that's been proven throughout the season. Where a team you thought that had the upper hand, the other team won. So you had to come into the game being ready to play. Otherwise, anything could happen in a game of girls softball, and I've known that over the years. You just don't know what to expect sometimes. But obviously, this is by far, I think, from top to bottom, the most balanced the league's been, and every game has been ultra competitive.
Coach, speaking of magical seasons, we still remember that 2005 season when your team made the state tournament, and it's still the only girls team in school history, I believe, to make the Final Four in any sport. Coach, what has to happen for that kind of magic to repeat itself maybe this year or Thursday night when you open tournament against Marion Local?
Okay, in actuality, most probably is very similar to what's happening to this year's team. We kind of struggled towards the end of our regular season that year. But the senior leadership, we had a lot of seniors on that team, and again, a good mixture of youth. And the seniors wouldn't allow anything get them down. They played with a smile. They played with determination. And I can remember the 2 regional games where we were down in both games going into the last inning, but they never quit. Okay, they kept their heads high. They picked each other up, and they didn't care who did what. It was all for one, okay, and one for all. So it was we kept all that in, and we just played it like it's a game. It's a game we want to do well. It's a game we enjoy to play, and we're going to fight to the bitter end. And obviously, we've had teams over the years that have that's what we kind of thrive on in our sport. That we're going to go out fighters if we're going to go out, and if we're going to continue, we have to continue to fight, regardless of any circumstance that we face. So we're hoping that continues, and we know we got a tough matchup tomorrow night in our opening tournament game against Marion Local. The last 4 times that we have played them, it's been 1-run games. It's gone to the last inning, and we're definitely going to have that, and hopefully get a little magic continue for us. But again, we're going to have to be fighters because we know they'll be fighters.
Yeah, another competitive game between 2 MAC schools. Hey, Coach, I got one more question before we let you go, but we mentioned at the top there how you were a graduate of Marion Local High School, and I believe your AD over there, Gary Jones, is a Marion Local grad as well. How did they let you guys get away over there? I thought Marion liked to keep everybody in their community there. They let you 2 guys get over to New Bremen.
Well, somehow there was been a few openings, and I'm very happy at New Bremen. New Bremen is a great community. Even though it's a stone throw away from Marion Local, I still get over there. My mother still lives there, so she doesn't support us a whole lot, but she still has that blue and gold in her. But for the most part, we like the community, we like the people, we like the students. The students are always very supportive of each other, and it's just a great place to raise a family. So I never really planned on leaving.
Well, I agree with you there, Coach. New Bremen's a great community, great town over there, beautiful little village, and not only that, you got one of my favorite restaurants in the world right over there in 17 West. So maybe I'll run into you over there someday.
Okie doke.
All right. Well, listen, from Fish Report Live, appreciate you being on our show tonight. Good luck to the Crimson and Gold over there as you make a postseason run here, and good luck to your Cardinals. So,
thank you very much, and I appreciate being on the show.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Coach.
All right, that was the head coach of the New Bremen Cardinals, Craig Griesdorn. And Ken, since we're talking some MAC, kind of some big news came out this week with a former MAC star that was in the major leagues. Corey Lupke retired.
Corey Lupke retired. Craig, you know, he had a brief stint there in the majors where he was very successful. San Diego Padres, pitched a little bit with the Pittsburgh Pirates, got picked up this year by the White Sox. Had some arm problems the last several years, but you know, Craig, he made the local small towns very proud, especially Maria Stein. Did very well, and you know, it's just great to see him the times when he was out there. And read your blog today, and that was a really neat story that you put out. So congratulations to Corey. You had a great career, and hope to see you around locally sometime. And you know, good luck to you.
Yeah, speaking of that blog post we wrote on Fish Report this week, I want to bring in the sound room here again. We'll check in with Ross back there. He was actually one of the subjects of that blog post. Ross, do you remember going out to San Diego? Boy, you were probably, what are you now, about 15? What?
I'm 12.
You're 12, so you were probably about, 7 years old or something when you went out there and met Corey Lupke out there. You remember that day?
Yeah, I did. It was fun. We saw also Craig Stammen, who plays for the forgetting.
He was with the Nationals.
San Diego
Nationals.
now.
He's with
But San Diego now. So,
But kind of a funny story to meet Corey. We met Craig before and talked to him, so it was no problem talking to him at the game. But I'd never actually met Corey before, and Corey was they were taking batting practice. The Padres were. Corey was running from the bullpen to the dugout with a teammate of his, and I yelled at him. I said, "Hey, Corey!" And he looked at me, and his teammate looked at me, and they thought, "Who's this guy?" And they kept jogging. And so I yelled again. I said, "Corey!" This time I yelled, "Russia, Ohio." Well, as soon as he heard that, he stopped. He did a 90-degree turn and came right over to me and very nice. Talked to our family for about 10 minutes. But in the process, about 100 kids swarmed down there and started asking for autographs. So as a result of me, he got bothered there for about 10 minutes. But a great guy and enjoyed watching his career and like you said, kind of wish him the best of luck.
Absolutely. So.
All right, guys, great stuff. One more thing to get to tonight, and that is our poll question. Ken, why don't you read it for our viewers again?
Asked our viewers tonight, Craig, a lot of MAC viewers, I'm sure, tonight, because we were talking some MAC softball. Which of these 4 MAC teams do you feel will go the furthest in postseason tournament play? Of course, we got the top 4 teams in the MAC there. Is it Coldwater, Minster, New Bremen, or Parkway? TK, let's go to the telemetrics back here and see what our listeners had to say.
All right, our listeners voted for Coldwater, New Bremen, and Parkway, but 67% said New Bremen, so must have pulled in a lot with the coach's interview tonight, and far and away, everybody feels New Bremen has the best chance to go the furthest in tournament in softball this year.
Well, they are the number 10 ranked team in the state. Parkway a little bit higher than them, so that'll be interesting to see which of those 4 teams does make it the farthest.
Yep, and but like you said, it's good to see that we had our viewers from New Bremen out there tonight listening to us, and so appreciate that.
All right, great stuff, Guy, and that's going to wrap it up for tonight's show. Do want to say special thanks to our guest, Craig Griesdorn, for joining us. Ken and I and the crew will all be back again next week, same time, same place. Until then, have a great rest of the week, and good night, everyone.
Hanging at the fish report. 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 For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pole. When you tune in to the fish report. Hanging at the fish report.